Mini lesson number 2. The theory I chose to do was the characteristic of motivation. What are learning characteristics? A learning characteristic is an individual trait that may affect the learning capabilities, success potential, proficiency, and effort of a language learner. Examples of this include intelligence, language learning aptitude, learning style, personality, attitudes and motivation, identity and ethnic group affiliation, learner beliefs, and age. Researchers aim to test a correlation between these characteristics and their relationship or effect on second language learners. The main question is, to what extent can we predict differences in the success of second language acquisition if we have information about learners' characteristics? Motivation is the willingness, drive, or reason a person has to learn a language. The relationship between motivation and a learner's attitudes towards the target language in the TLS community, as well as success in learning, has been studied in connection with SLA. Research has shown that positive attitudes towards learning a second language result in a willingness to keep learning. There are two types of motivation: instrumental motivation and integrative motivation. Instrumental motivation is language learning for immediate or practical goals. This type of motivation is largely related to second language learners because they need to learn the language to survive. Integrated motivation is language learning for personal growth and cultural enrichment through contact with speakers of the other language. This type of motivation indicates that it is important that a language learner thinks positively about the culture of the target language. Motivation in the classroom. Teachers can make a positive contribution to students' motivation to learn. Researchers Giliox and Dornay describe teacher motivation strategies using a classroom observation scheme, MOLT, the motivational orientation of language teaching. These strategies were divided into 4 categories: teacher discourse, which is arousing curiosity or attention, promoting autonomy, starting communicative purpose and utility of activity. 2 is participation structure. This is group work or pair work. 3 is activity design. This is individual competition, team competition, intellectual challenge, or tangible task product. 4 is encouraging positive retrospective self-evaluation and activity design. This can be effective praise, elicitation of self or peer correction session, or class applause. So what do researchers say about motivation? Gardner and Lambert have research that has showed a positive correlation between attitudes and achievement. Word pairs related to language learning included competent, incompetent, pleasant, unpleasant, appealing, unappealing, unimportant, and important. Dornay has 3-phase model of motivation. These 3 phases include choice motivation, which is setting goals, executive motivation, task to maintain motivation, and motivational retrospection, student reaction to performance. The activity I chose was Authentic Text Challenge, which I made by myself. The school level will be grade 10, language level is intermediate to advanced, content area is history, and the topic is World War II. The materials needed is a website, computer, iPads, paper, writing utensils, and board or projector. The activity will aim to satisfy the 4 categories of Dornay's motivational teaching strategies. First, I'll activate the students' background knowledge on World War II. I'll tell them about the most interesting and biggest aspects, such as the Holocaust, in order to arouse curiosity. I'll show the students the authentic text and briefly how to use it on the board. I'll break the students up into groups and give them 10 minutes to explore the website. Bring the students back together and give them a challenge. Which group can describe in their own words one event from each region? I'll have the groups write their answers on paper and post it on the board. The first group done wins and receives a prize. I'll go through the various answers on the board and applaud groups for their success. I'll have the students reflect in groups and as a class on what they found interesting and what they want to learn about. Lastly, I'll leave the students with an individual reflection journal on what it would be like to be a refugee in World War II. Why might they see it important to learn the English language in World War II and today? This activity connects directly to motivation. So the activity starts by eliciting curiosity, attention, and interest in the topic, therefore motivating the students to use the TL to know more. The activity involves group work, allowing the students to help each other and encourage each other. The activity is competitive and challenging and produces a tangible result. Lastly, the activity provides positive reinforcement from the teacher and students. An additional activity is provided for the students to self-evaluate the experience and the need for a second language. These aspects satisfy Dorné's motivational strategies, seen to the in MOLT. Furthermore, the activity allows the students to reflect on why language is important for practical goals as well as cultural enrichment. This will motivate the learners to continue learning with a positive attitude. Comments. The strength of motivation is that motivation is a characteristic that has many strategies related to it. Teachers can use specific techniques to encourage motivation in the classroom. Also, motivation research is directly related to SLA because of the obvious need of the SLA students to learn a language. Weaknesses are that motivation can only take a learner so far. There is many more complex aspects to language learning that motivation can't always help with. A direct correlation between motivation and success cannot be measured. However, indications are good. Overall, I think motivational theories are beneficial to teachers and students in SLA because they set a foundation for learning. Students need to be given a reason to learn. From there, learning is a much easier process. And here are my references.